Hello and welcome to yourlocalnote.com. I am RJ. Mike is working behind the scenes as usual, trying to make sure that we look and sound good. As far as looking good, he's got a lot of work to do, but he does his best. We have a band tonight that we're going to be hanging with and talking with and featuring some of their music. It's the band is called The People Philly. We've got Charles, Dan, and Samantha with us tonight, and something we haven't done before. We've got Samantha actually not here, but she's on the phone, so she'll be joining us and having some fun and telling us more about the band. So we're going to kick things off with the first song from their album, Light Fantastic. The song is called Another Try. The band we're hanging with is The People Philly on yourlocalnote.com.
Never was a dreamer, I knew by you. Told me not to follow nothing I knew was true. Never was a pleader, you drew for two. It took us round the bend in silence. Can you see me drowning slowly? Couldn't get a word in, darling. Wasn't worth a try. Don't know if I can take it, if I make it out alive. See that I give love another try. Can you hear me calling? I try to reach your ears. Sold me to the pavement's power. I tried sunshine. It's you that's really falling down walls of discontent. Daisy chains around you broken. Do you know what independence is? Couldn't get a word in, darling. Wasn't worth a try. I know if I can take it, if I make it out alive. See that I give love another try. Couldn't get a word in, darling. Wasn't worth a try. I don't know if I can take it, if I make it out alive.
All right, the song is called Another Try, and the band is actually called The People. We have to have a correction here. And the album is The Light Fantastic. All right, first let me welcome the people. We've got Charles, Dan, and Samantha. Samantha is joining us by phone. We're happy that she is. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this evening and hanging with us on yourlocalnote.com.
Thanks for having us.
Let's real quickly introduce yourselves and what you do with the band. We'll start with Samantha on the phone. Ladies first. Sam, what do you do with the band?
Hey there. I have the great pleasure of singing with these guys in this project. And I'm calling from Wyoming, so it's really, really great to be on the line with you tonight.
Okay, very good. Charles?
I play guitar and keyboard, and On the record, I play saxophone and flute as well.
Okay.
And sometimes help Sam out with background vocals.
Nice. Dan?
My name's Dan. I play guitar in The People.
Okay, and are we missing anybody?
Yeah, our bassist Mark Przybłowski is sadly not here with us tonight, and our drummer Gabe Globus-Honig is on the West Coast. I think he's probably listening in.
Okay.
But, yeah.
We want to make sure we give a shout out.
Yeah.
Make sure that they feel included.
Definitely.
We're an inclusive type of a show here. All right, let's talk about the name The People. Now, I got a little confused. I called you The People Philly. And that's what I saw on the emails that Charles, you and I were sending back and forth. And I think I was on Bandcamp, and it might have said The People Philly. So explain how you confused this dumbass standing right here.
No, I mean, amazingly, the website, thepeople.com, was not available.
Okay.
And so, you'd have to go through like different iterations when you're choosing a domain. And so I actually remember there being a stream of emails. We were presented with options that were outrageous, and the least outrageous of them was thepeoplephilly.com. And so we decided to try to make things consistent on the internet.
Got it. So it's thepeoplephilly.com.
Yeah.
But the band is called The People.
Yeah.
Okay, I got that straight. All right. Now, let's talk about, before we get to this music, let's talk about how you guys got together.
Well, the bassist and drummer and I, Mark, Gabe, and I, played together for a couple of years as a jazz trio. We met just playing jazz gigs around Philadelphia, and I got a call from Charles at one point asking if I'd like to come to his school where he was teaching as an elementary school and do a little jazz workshop for the kids that he was teaching. And I did that. I think Mark and Gabe were both on that gig too. And so that's how we kind of met up. And Samantha and I have known each other for a long time. We went to Temple together. Okay. So when we were, Charles and the guys and I got together, we were kind of playing some instrumental tunes and stuff like that. And we decided, this would probably be a lot better if we had a singer. And the first person we thought of was Samantha. So. All right. And the band's been together for how long? 3 years, something like that,
or so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 years.
You go back and forth.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about the first song, "Another Try." What is this song about? Did you write this, Charles?
Yeah, that's one of my tunes. I don't know. I think that the song is about sometimes there's somewhat of a theme with this song and another song that we're gonna talk about later, where sometimes we get people get stuck in feeling sorry for themselves. Okay. And relationships end, and
yes,
this song is kind of about hey, things can go really badly, communication can be bad, but make sure you give yourself another try, give love another try.
Right. It's funny you mentioned that about feeling sorry for yourself. My wife's niece and nephew came into town, and I was talking with the niece, and she's going to be turning 18, going to college, and all this other stuff. So she's getting ready to go into the world. So she got trapped with the uncle giving her advice. And one of the things I told her, I said, one thing you should work on is if you're going to run into problems and you're going to not accomplish some things that you want to accomplish, or you're not going to get something that you were working towards. What you need to do, though, is not get bogged down by that.
Sure.
So here's the rule. You got 24 hours to feel sorry for yourself. You got 24 hours to throw a temper tantrum, not in public, and just get it all out of your system. And then the next day, you then start moving forward.
Right.
So
absolutely, it's good advice, sage advice.
I try to use that occasionally, but but it's something that I think is important, that you don't get bogged down, and it sounds like that's what this song was sort of about.
Absolutely.
And we've got Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay?
I am.
Because we're hearing some ruffling around going on there. I wasn't sure. Are you eating and we're interrupting your dinner or something?
That's terrible. I totally got caught.
Yeah, we heard that all the way here in Philadelphia. We heard you munching on something in Wyoming.
Oh man, it was a trick to get it so bad.
So let's get back to songwriting. Do you do most of the songwriting, Charles?
For this record, I have. I mean, I don't want it to appear though. It's a very collaborative process. A lot of the way that it works generally is I come in with a skeleton of something or some ideas, and we flesh out the ideas together as a group. So maybe the blueprints for sure on this particular record came from me, but there's input from absolutely everybody on every song.
Okay, so everyone contributes their part.
In immense ways.
And, okay. Yeah. And how difficult is that for you? Because this is your idea, this is your baby. I mean, you've got to have some thick skin.
Sure. I think that you kind of have to just to even, be a writer in some capacity. But the idea of the group, the people, is about, using the strengths of all of the members.
Okay.
To craft the best song possible so that the whole is, greater than the sum of its parts.
Now, with Sam coming back and forth from Wyoming, how difficult is that to try to get the band to mesh together? Sam? Or you want to go Dan?
Yeah, Sam, why don't you take it?
I think one of the marvelous things about this project is how well we work together, and how over the course of these last several years, some of this music has evolved. I mean, there's songs on this record that, there's one in particular that I heard with very little time before we actually put it down on the record, and then there's some that we've been playing as long as I've known Charles. So I think the chemistry of this project, how we interact with each other, and how our individual personalities and our individual voices weave together is pretty remarkable. It's one of the easiest collaborations I've ever been a part of. So I think that's pretty cool.
Now,
and then, I think technology makes the work that we do so much easier in so many ways. I can listen to an idea and kind of marinate on it. Right before we were going to record, I was listening to the bass tracks on the record, driving back and forth from work. Just singing to myself in the car in the mountains, and it really lends itself to creativity, and I think folks guys are also really gracious about giving me the space to sing the things that I hear, and I hope to do the same for them. So yeah, it's a lot easier, I think, in process than it sounds when you talk about it.
Okay, Dan, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I mean the trickiest part is scheduling things. I think we've all found the musical part is not really that difficult. We've never found that to be too difficult, playing with one another in the chemistry in that way. The more difficult thing is trying to schedule to all be in the same place at the same time to do a gig or
right
to rehearse. So
now, Sam, I take it Charles, you write most of the lyrics along with this. As a singer, how difficult is it to sing someone else's song, or do you feel that since you know Charles pretty well, you have a really good feeling on what he's trying to accomplish with a song?
That is a great question, actually, because I think a lot of the time, especially if you're learning and growing as a musician, so often the music that inspires you, or you feel compelled to sing in someone else's music. And I think part of the creative process as we learn and grow is how do we see ourselves in the music that we're performing. I think it's a lot easier in many senses to write your own music and feel connected to it than it is, in a sense, to see an other, and try to see yourself in that music. But I think with the music that Charles writes and the lyrics that Charles writes, I find myself inextricable, actually, from those stories. I think that they're all words, whether it's a specific narrative or it's a little bit more abstract. I think that the feelings and the phrases, even the melodies, are very easy to relate to, very easy to intern. And I think that's one of Charles's gifts. I also think, and we've kind of talked about this, as a band we work so well together that it never felt like if this is one person's guitar lick, or this is one person's verse, or this is someone else's song. It's very much our music. So Charles, I hope that doesn't...
No, that was really nice, Sam.
I really feel very much a part of it.
Okay.
I've never had any difficulty singing in the music at all.
Very good. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to play the second song. that we're featuring tonight, and then we're going to come back, and I want to get a little bit more into Charles, your songwriting process.
Okay.
So we'll play the song Nowhere. It's off the album The Light Fantastic, and we're hanging out with the people, and this is yourlocalnote.com.
Lakefront cracks and falls, the frost of the morning calls, and whispers it cools me, cools me, cools me. Always seem to believe in while if feral deceiving, and I've been told that it holds and holds and holds. The warmer I get to you, the colder becomes the view. And it seems so high, so high, so high. But then you keep calling me back. You're lifting me what I like. And the water surrounds, surrounds, surrounds me. Do you wanna go somewhere? I've been thinking about nowhere. You know it stretches for miles and miles and miles. Saturday sunshine took me up to the red line. You said I couldn't pass, no, 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 no. But then your hand on my shoulder, I felt a little bit bolder. And the lines, oh, they waned and waned. My hand then, and in the right direction. Well, together we bounded on and on. Do you wanna go somewhere? I've been thinking about nowhere. You know it stretches for miles and miles and miles. Take me uptown to the lights and dancing. I just got back and I want romance. Drink a little light on a Saturday night, and you won't need a wake-up call next morning. Take me uptown to the lights and dancing. I just got back and I want romance. Drink a little light on a Saturday night, and you won't need a wake-up call next morning.
All right, the song is called Nowhere, and the album is The Light Fantastic. The band is The People, and this is yourlocalnote.com. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're hanging out with Charles, Dan, and Sam. Sam is on the phone, calling all the way from Wyoming. We truly appreciate her taking the time to do that. Let's go to this song, Nowhere. Charles, what is this song about?
This song is about. So I'm originally from Chicago.
Okay.
I moved out here in 2009. And this song is about leaving Chicago.
All right.
And finding a new place with a new person, which is what I did when I came out to Philly.
And you felt like you were nowhere?
Yeah, I mean, but it can be scary taking those steps. But
Right.
this song is kind of about, having somebody to rely on to help you through those difficult times. I was lucky to move out here with somebody who's also from Chicago.
Okay.
So
You went through the same experiences.
yeah, so it was a similar type of new thing, and but in the end, it becomes a celebration, which is what happens at the end of the song.
Oh, very nice. Okay. Are all your songs, do you have to write about life experiences, or can you sometimes get an idea and write a story around that? That's a good question.
No, I would say that primarily for a long time, a lot of my songs came from life experiences. I'm starting to, as a songwriter, hopefully mature into a place where I can be somewhat of a storyteller, which is happening more on this record. There are a few songs on there. One of the songs we're going to talk about later, Egypt, is about essentially the myth of a certain part of Southern Illinois. So they're, not necessarily things that I've experienced personally, but definitely things that come from my own life.
Okay. All right. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. The album, The Light Fantastic, is this your first full album?
It is, yeah.
Okay. How long did this take to put together?
Oof.
Well, I guess pretty much as long as we've been a band. About
Okay.
the last,
Yeah.
like Sam mentioned earlier, probably like 3 or 4 or 5 of these songs we've been playing for 2 or 3 years, and then the other half are newer within the last year. The actual recording of the album we started in January, so we spent only a few months on that, but the writing and the developing of the material has been the last couple of years.
Did you have like a whole bunch of songs that you then whittled down to what you're going to have, or were you pretty much set? We know the songs. These are the songs we definitely want to record on an album.
Yeah, we definitely we have other songs that we've played live and that we've worked on, and a couple that we've recorded in other at other times. We did an EP a couple of years ago, and we also just recorded a couple individual tracks and put them up on our website. So yeah, we definitely kind of narrowed it down to these ones on the album.
Mm-hmm.
How? Did you use the same studio to record all the songs that you've recorded in the past, or
So yeah, that's so the older recordings that Dan mentioned, generally yes, those were done at a studio called the Record Lounge. It's headed up by an incredible local musician named Andrew Lipke. It's actually the basement of his house, but it's this great studio. And we worked with him on a lot of that stuff. And for this record, we got to work with a couple of other brilliant producers, a guy in New York named Hanny Zara in Brooklyn, and a local guy with a studio called Surreal. What is it? Brighton Sound Studios, named Doug Ross. And so we worked with them extensively in Brooklyn, in Jersey, just over the bridge, and in Philly.
Oh, okay.
The record's mastered at Turtle Studios.
Okay. And why did you? It sounds a little complicated that you were in Brooklyn, you're in a little Jersey, a little Philly.
Right.
How did that come about that it was like that? Because sometimes
Sure.
it's just one studio.
There are different resources in different places. So Hanny's studio, he's really, really amazing at recording drums, which within the recording art, I think a lot of people would say is its own art unto itself. Is just being good at recording a drum set or percussion instruments, and he's really got a really controlled homemade studio set up for him to be able to do that. And he also has some really interesting synthesizers and electronic instruments that we were excited to experiment with the record. Whereas Doug was more local, and also our drummer Gabe lives in New York, so it was convenient for him to get to Hanny. even though it's a quick drive.
You guys are spread out all over.
Yeah,
the
we're
place.
covering 3
We're all
states.
over the country.
But then most of the process was done in New Jersey and in Philly, where Sam came in and did her vocals. We did all of the guitar,
All the
auxiliary
guitars in
instruments, bass,
Philly.
all in Philly.
Okay, and as you've been recording, I mean, you've recorded singles in the past, but recording an album like this, how was that as an experience? I mean, was it something that you didn't anticipate when you came in, or was it something it went the way you wanted it to? How was that experience?
My experience in recording before had been recording jazz records. So I'm a saxophonist by training, and so I had put out 2 jazz records, and I think probably most of, I don't want to speak for Sam and Dan, but I would assume that most of their recording experience was jazz, which is very difficult to do, but totally different than recording a pop record.
Right.
So this was something that I think was new to a lot of us, but we worked with great producers. We had really fleshed out the songs and kind of like knew what we wanted to say with each of them. So I think we had a lot of answers to a lot of questions.
Did you? Oh, so you depended on your producers?
Absolutely.
For this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were a big help.
5th and 6th members
Yeah.
or 6th and 7th members
Absolutely.
for sure.
Did you go in expecting that, wanting that, or did it just fall into place?
I didn't necessarily expect that, but I was very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Both of them. Hanny is one of the most creative musicians I've ever met. He has an amazing band that's just under his name. And so we had recorded a single with him, and we're just enamored with how he worked. And then Doug came at the behest of other local musicians. A great band named Sunstep had worked with him, and we kind of trust them a lot. So
Okay.
they recommended this guy, and he ended up being brilliant. So.
Sam, did you have a good experience with this recording? Did you feel like you learned a lot doing this album?
Yeah, gosh. It was pretty wild because we did all the vocals, all my vocals at least, in maybe like a 15-hour period. The whole thing was so wild. I took a gig to finance like flying out.
Okay.
And basically had been listening to the music and preparing music, and just came to the studio in New Jersey for a day, and we kind of hashed everything out. So it was a pretty crazy learning experience for me. You know, I feel like.
Did you?
Spoke to this. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say. I mean, you had a day to do it. Did you feel pressure? Making sure that you hit everything because you were going the next day. I mean, that's seems like a lot of pressure to me.
Yeah, I guess there was a little bit of pressure to me. I mean, obviously, the music is so. I think it's so spectacular. You want it to sound great. You want it to be a perfect snapshot of the song, of the feeling of that time. So there's this kind of balance of being spontaneous and allowing it to be what it'll be, and also trying to be prepared and doing the homework so that you can just be fully present to that, and also have the capacity as a musician, to sing for that long, or to go through as many takes as are necessary.
Okay.
For some things, we had to go back and take a couple passes, but there were a few where like the first take was the take. So it was pretty wild, but pretty special.
When you work with somebody like Sam, it just kind of happens that way.
Okay. Sam? Do you
She's
think?
so amazing.
Do you think also, Sam? Did you also think that knowing that you had very little time, did that make you focus even more than usual?
Well, these guys know I'm a total space cadet. It's hard for me to focus on anything, save this music, so. There's that. I actually, I love the experience of recording, because I think when we perform this music live, there's actually a window of time where the band was performing without me. I was here, such as life, and they were kind of working in different configurations to make the music happen. And I think that recording this stuff was so fun because there were so many more possibilities, so many different options and opportunities for us to really add nuance and color and life to the song. So I think it was more. It's very playful for me. I love to experiment. I love to try things out and kind of go for it. I can also, when the song calls for it, really just kind of dial it in and try to connect with that, the words or one phrase or the melody, and it really lends itself to that. So, yeah, it was, in so many ways, like Dan kind of mentioned before, the hardest part of making this music is like being in the same place, making schedules coordinate, because I think, the music is the magic. It just happens on its own.
Was there a lot of communication between you and Charles as far as what he was trying to convey with the songs to make it easier for you?
Yeah, I think when there's questions about the material or I have an interpretation, I think there's enough room for both of us, for the original intention of the music and also for my interpretation. I think they move really easily together, so they're usually, I think as the song evolves, we kind of find space for both things. And Charles, I'd love actually to hear you speak to that because I'm afraid of stepping on.
No, you're right. Like, great partnerships work like that. So, now we're at a place as a band that when I'm writing a song, part of my thought process is always like, okay, what's Sam going to sound like singing this? Are these lines, is there enough freedom here for her to be able to really express herself within, this framework? And I think that really from day one, we met each other at the first rehearsal of this band. And from I remember immediately there was just we're just like as close as can be. And I think that the fact that Sam and Dan are as close as can be and Dan and Mark are really, we all like love each other as people. And that also lends itself to, always making sure the music sounds as good as it can.
Excellent. Okay, we're going to move on to song number 3, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap things up. We've been flying through here. We really appreciate hanging out with you guys. Song is called Grown Through. Again, it's from the album The Light Fantastic. The band is The People, and this is yourlocalnote.com.
With my head held down, it's really very simple to say no more. No, my soul sings aloud. I feel it has been drowned in something more than this. When my insides come undone, it's true that I'm more hopeless than I knew. So taken by surprise that I can't realize my troubles are few. And that feels like a lie gone through. The roots holding me to you. I sold my virtue in Tennessee. The judge came down on me, and I said no more. So my youth goes like fading faces that leave my memory as time passes on. Because my failures come in threes. You see, it's true that I'm more hopeless than I knew. So taken by surprise that I can't realize my troubles. that feels like a light gone through. The roots hold me. Try to right the wrongs inside. Change my night from darkness to light.
The song is called Grown Through from the album The Light Fantastic. The band is called The People. And you're hanging out with us on yourlocalnote.com. Really appreciate you doing that. All right, Charles, Grown Through, you were just talking before. This is one of your older songs.
Yeah. This is a song that is from, I think, like 2012.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like, about 3 years old. Yeah, it's kind of, I think it's probably like our only really like straight like country song
Okay.
that we actually really play. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to play. I love playing that song, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out on the record.
Most of your background, though, is jazz.
Uh-huh.
Same with you, Dan?
Yes.
And Samantha, too. So what has made you go away from that genre?
Well,
Jazz sucks. No, I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding.
I mean, I haven't really gone away from it. I do a lot of jazz gigs nowadays.
So you're just experimenting with different things.
Yeah, for sure. And I think all of us went to school for music, so we studied jazz and classical. But I think all of us also came up playing rock and
Sure.
classic rock and stuff. So we're we like to play everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think that's one of the coolest parts about this music is how many different there's so many possibilities because of all of our different backgrounds. Also, the things that really inspire us. It's just so diverse, so varied, and that makes it really, really, really fun. You know, you can kind of extract different pieces of like what we're into. You know, and every song is kind of a reflection of all those different things.
Sure.
So it's really fun.
Charles, when you're writing, are you writing? I mean, like for this past song, last song we just played, "Grown Through." Did you intend for it to be a country song, or it just turned out that way?
I mean, it really just turned out that way. I think that I think I wrote that song when I was
drunk. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding.
No,
Driving a pickup truck. I'm just going to use gun to go through them all.
No, I was on faculty at this music camp in Maine.
Okay.
And it's like I was literally like living in a cabin on a lake.
Okay.
So it was just like really, this collection of chords came through, and it was, the song just kind of came out of nowhere. I'm not like I like certain country music a lot. I wouldn't consider myself a country music fan.
Right.
But Patsy Cline and Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash are amazing. So, I think it's kind of like that part of, I listened to a lot of that music growing up, and I think that's probably where that comes from.
Okay. All the music, where they can get their music is on the website.
Yeah, at thepeoplephilly.com.
That's where they can find
Yeah,
your
you can
music.
listen to it and buy it. And
Okay.
yeah.
You've got a project coming up.
Yeah, we do have a project with a local group called Paperbox Sessions. They essentially make like live music videos of local groups in Philadelphia and promote their music. So we're going to be doing that in just a couple of weeks, and that stuff, look for that. We'll be posting that up on our website. It'll be as many places as we can get it really soon.
Very cool. All right. Let's talk about the last song, and then we're going to wrap things up. Okay.
Great. Yeah.
All right. The last song, Egypt. You made reference to that before.
Yeah. Oh, man. So Egypt is actually also, along with being a nation, an area of southern Illinois. It's referred to as the southern tip of Illinois, which is where I'm from, and it's centered around this city called Cairo, and they actually pronounce it Cairo for who knows why.
Sure.
Because they're in Southern Illinois, I don't know. And but it's considered to be like one of the most haunted places in America.
Really?
So there's all this like really crazy folklore that comes from this place, and really interesting stories that you would never.
Right.
And it's a really beautiful place too. And so this song came from a really crazy myth that I read about this guy who was like part of this gang that got in like a turf war and got buried for like underground alive for like 20 days and 17 days and came out alive.
Oh, okay.
So it was just like totally outrageous. It sounded like a Quentin Tarantino movie to me or something like that. Something out of Kill Bill.
So there's a lot of blood and,
exactly.
and swearing.
Yeah. So it was just like rife for, like that type of a song. And then we had a lot of fun with it in the studio. I don't know if Dan or Sam wants to talk about that, but
Yeah, I mean, we tried to make the guitar parts sound kind of really
Eerie.
really dirty.
Oh,
too.
dirty. Okay.
I remember Charles and I had gotten together one day, and you said something to me like I'm trying to make this song sound terrible.
Okay.
With the guitar.
hopefully everybody
Referring
likes
to
it.
the, referring to the guitar playing.
That's an interesting take.
I think it really comes from like this Tom Waitsy type of broken down kind of band, aesthetic that I find fascinating.
Okay.
And so we tried to do a little bit of that in the studio.
Sam, how was it trying to sing the lyrics to a place? Have you ever been to Cairo? Cairo is how they say it.
No, as a Wisconsinite, native born Wisconsinite, as a rule, I try to avoid Illinois.
Boo!
Wow.
Cheeseheads.
I love when people from the Midwest start making fun of each other. My wife's from Iowa, and when I was out there, they were making fun of people from Missouri, and I'm looking at them going, "I'm from Long Island. I'm making fun of all of you."
Oh, man.
It's quite interesting to see how people look at different states and stuff like that. I couldn't believe that, because my wife's family is very nice. I mean, they're Midwesterners. Everyone's nice in the Midwest. And here they are. They were bashing Missouri and people from Missouri. And I'm like, wow, this is what we do in New York.
I feel like that's pretty standard practice. You can only go the mean road so long, and then you start getting...
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool. All right.
I digress. This is such fun to record, actually. I love Charles telling the story, and also reading the lyrics and kind of getting to dig in. Also taking different sections of the verse kind of chronicles the story. So trying to create variation and trying to explore like the nooks and crannies of all of this, like really getting into the space of the song.
Right.
So it's just so much fun.
Good.
I think we all share like a really common sort of zany love for Tom Waits. And, so I think that was really inspiring for me. There's a story about him that he would, if a song idea came to him at an inappropriate time, if he's driving and he couldn't write it down, or maybe he's in the bathroom and he thought he would be there for a while, he would like scream at it and tell it to go away. Like, I'm not ready for you yet.
Okay.
Kind of approaching this music though is very much our own, with that sort of allowing the song its personality. I think was really, really fun to kind of be. I felt like totally in service to the song on this one. It had very little to do with me, and it had a lot to do with the story and how we could get inside it. So it was great.
Well, it sounded like you guys just had a blast making the whole album.
Yeah, we did.
You enjoy doing what you're doing, and I think part of that it comes from the fact that you have a different musical background, and you're exploring, and when you're exploring, that's fun. Because
Absolutely.
you're discovering new things and moving forward on that. So
Absolutely.
I commend you guys for that. I look forward to new music from you guys after
Thank you.
this. I know you just got this done, but I'm sure you got to be thinking about it more music, which
Definitely.
is cool. And good luck with this. And thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Sam,
much.
thank you for calling in from Wyoming. This was a first for us.
Hey, all the best for the Mountain West.
Okay. All right. We're going to wrap things up here. Our next vidcast right now is September 2nd. That's our next vidcast. So we got that ready to go. But what's going to happen then is this vidcast we've recorded, besides playing live, it is going to be featured on our homepage for a week starting on Monday.
Great.
Okay? And then it goes into the archives. Like I said, you're always with us. You can't leave. It's like Hotel California. All right. Thank you again, guys. We're wrapping things up here with the song Egypt. It's from the album, The Light Fantastic. And again, the band is The People. And this is yourlocalnote.com.
Once in Cairo, as a matter of turf, the get back is put a man in the earth. They took him down there to the Dug Hill Road and laid him down to die there in the cold. I swear it's true, Lord. I swear I know. I swear so hard, don't ever let me go. See, I met the man once, not much bigger than a boy, and he told me of the time he was buried alive in southern Illinois. I said, please help me. I've spent 17 days underground. Then I came around and I got free. He said I survived there, never being found, on the rail to sit through to where I'm bound. Every day I grew weaker and weaker still, and day by day my fear turned into will. I swear it's true, Lord. I swear I know. I swear it's so good I'll never let you go. A week's ration of water, all they gave me to employ. But for that I'd still be buried down in southern Illinois. I said, please help me. I've spent 17 days underground. Then I came around and I got free. He said it was hot there, never being found. Screaming all you can, you're never making a sound. Oh, it's black there. It swallows up your mind to a darkness so deep you'll never find. I swear it's true, Lord. I swear I know. I swear it's so bad that it never lets me go. See, I'm trying to live now, oh, not much bigger than a boy, to undo the damage done in southern